Hey everyone, Racer Joe of Racer Records, or Joe of On AV and On a Vinyl, or, just Joe. You can call me Hoser if you like, doesn't matter. A lot of crazy stuff going on in the world these days. A lot of people's minds are changing about certain things, and I'll leave it at that. But this is the inspiration for today's video. It's been a while since I've done one. I know I haven't done a whole bunch in the last little while for this page. I've been doing stuff for the shop, but I thought I'd throw this one up there and put this one out there. I did kind of do a search to see if it was a thread before. I don't think it was, but if it was, great. This is a continuation of it, and if it wasn't, let's make it a thread. What it is 7 bands. I decided on 7 bands that changed my mind. Didn't like them at first, didn't get them at first, etc., and now think they're fantastic, and or at least listen to them. I think they're all fantastic. I think as I look down in the pile, I would consider them all to be fantastic, but definitely 7 bands. Some may surprise you, maybe, I don't know, that I wasn't keen on necessarily at the beginning, but obviously figured it out eventually. If you like the bands, I guess figured it out is the right way to put it. But without further ado, let's get on with it. So the first one up is a young lady that I was actually just listening to. And I don't know if I'll know the exact moment that things changed for me or the reason things changed for me or when I figured it out. But I think with this young lady being Amy Winehouse, I think maybe it's when I watched the documentary. I don't know. I had a perception in my mind. There was some reason that I had written her off from the start. I'm not exactly sure why. But now thoroughly enjoy this album. Don't have the first one. I have, it's over there. I have the third one. And then, of course, there wasn't much after that because she passed. But yeah, so this one maybe not a shock. I don't know. Maybe a little bit. Everybody probably going, or some going, what the hell, man? She was great. She is great. She was great. It just took me a little while to figure it out. And I do realize now that Amy Winehouse is pretty fantastic, and I enjoy listening to it. Maybe not necessarily on a regular basis, but it is certainly a time of day or a feeling or mood type of music that I am now enjoying more. But there you go. There's number 1, Amy Winehouse. Again, I looked to see if it was a thread. I didn't see it out there. So let's make it one. If it isn't, you tell me 7 bands or 5 or 10 or whatever you like, bands that changed your mind. Up next, this one I think will maybe be a surprise because if you watch the Wednesday night show that I do with my buddies Darrel and Rob, don't forget to get your vinyl sleeves from Vinyl Storage Solutions out of Canada and use the promo code Vinyl10. There, Rob, I even get it in my videos. Anyway, okay, I think this will still count as one take. I do have a different hat on, and the lights are different, but it's still one take. Anyway, I got the promo code wrong. It's Northern10. If you go to vinylstoragesolutions.ca, vinylstoragesolutions.ca for your inner and outer sleeves, they will hook you up. And if you use the promo code Northern10, you will get 10% off, courtesy of our friend Rob from Northern Revolutions. There you go. One take still. It doesn't really count. Northern10. Use that promo code. There you go. Videos. Anyway, I digress a little bit. I've mentioned before a couple of times that this is a band that I didn't get off the bat. And maybe it was because they didn't want, or I didn't want to hear no trumpet playing band. I'm not sure. But that band is Dire Straits. Again, maybe not, excuse me, one take. Maybe not as bit of a stretch, for lack of the proper term, Amy Winehouse, maybe not getting her at first and then figuring it out. I should have had this figured out right from the very start. I'm not sure why exactly, because now they are one of my all-time favorites. So, again, I can't explain to you exactly what it was that I didn't enjoy off the bat. And I can't remember what it was that finally made me go, duh. Anyway, Dire Straits, number 2 band that changed my mind. Number 3 band, I guess this one is again a little bit of a mystery to me because again it should have been one that I got, and I think it was a generational thing. I'm really going to talk a little bit more about a generational thing in a couple down the line here, but this is a gentleman that I should have been a fan of from the start because it's fantastic music, but for some reason, and it may have been, the adults were listening to it and I didn't enjoy it, but that is the Man in Black, Johnny Cash. I, again, can't tell you when exactly it was that I figured it out, but I figured it out and thoroughly enjoyed Johnny. This is his early ones, the songs that made him famous on that beautiful Sun label. Yeah, again, certainly one that I probably should have figured out from the start, or at least earlier than I think I did. I can't remember exactly when I went, yeah, what are you doing, man? You got to listen to some Johnny Cash. Band number 3 that changed my mind. Artist number 3 that changed my mind. This one, I can tell you a little bit of why, possibly because it was way back in the 1970s. Remember the 1970s when vinyl was king? Anyway, those that have watched my videos before, those that have watched Wednesday night, know I'm a huge Kiss fan. I'm not sure what it was, but I used to do all my book reports, or the reports you had to do in class, in front of class. I always did them on Kiss. Buddy of mine always did his on Queen, and we would always argue that album comes out wacky on the video, doesn't it? But that's okay. I'll leave it. He always did his on Queen. We'd always argue, oh no, Queen's the best. Oh no, Kiss is the best. And I got Queen a little bit, but it takes a little bit maybe to get used to some Queen songs. I'm not exactly sure. Again, the light bulb moment that was, oh, why am I not listening to these guys? And I don't know if I ever argued that they weren't good. I just argued Kiss was better, which was arguably uh, not a good argument. And how many times can you say the word argue in one shot? I should show you guys the poster that comes with this album. I can't. I can't show that on YouTube. I can show you the gatefold though. Great copy of Jazz, little superimposed Jazz on the front there. One of my favorites by them. There you go. Another band that changed my mind. I'm not exactly sure why. It was not as it was in the beginning, but thankfully my mind got changed. This is the one that I was talking about when I talked about generational. Again, most of you, some of you probably heard this story. I'm adopted by my grandparents, so there's a generation gap, for lack of the proper term. They would have been a little bit older through the 70s and the 80s, so their music was the music of the 40s, a little bit of the 50s. I didn't have the Beatles in my house. I didn't have a lot of Elvis in my house. I had Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, the Rat Pack guys. I had those guys. Don Ho. There was a lot of Don Ho. I remember that too. That's who I had in my house. Mom and Dad get a case of beer, put on some Frank Sinatra, have a little dance party on a Saturday night, and all was good. And then Kiss was playing downstairs, so I'm sure they were thrilled by that. But anyway, Francis Albert Sinatra, I have come around to understand and completely get the enjoyment that is Frank. Again, kind of like Amy, it's got to be the time of day, it's got to be a mood, it's got to be something like that, but it's always good. I just don't necessarily listen to it on a regular basis, but I do listen to it often. Yes, I have my Kiss pillow behind me. Yeah. All right. 2 to go. Yeah, 2 to go. 7 bands that changed my mind. Give me 7 bands that changed your mind. I don't know if I should have a contest, if that makes more people do a video or not, but we'll figure that out. Anyway, show me 7, 5, 10, whatever you like, bands that changed your mind. Let's move on, shall we? Again, this is a young lady that I had written off early as a gimmick or something along the lines of that. I'm not exactly sure what it was. She used to do a lot of really weird shit. She still does a little bit of that, but she seems to be a decent person. She's a very talented person. And it was this album that changed my mind on Lady Gaga. This is obviously a departure from the early albums, but then I went back and I listened to the early albums and I enjoyed them. This is a great album. I really like this one. The brand new one, which I have not heard in its entirety yet. I've heard a couple of songs. Sounds like it's again a little bit of a departure for her. We'll call it from the dance music per se, but they're still danceable songs, if that matters or not. But I thought I read somewhere that Nine Inch Nails was a bit of an inspiration for her new album. So I'm interested to hear that. It came out a couple of days ago, so try and pick that up and give it a listen. But again, uh, this young lady changed my mind from back in the Poker Face days when this album came out. But then I went back and started to listen to the Poker Face days and went, yeah, that's okay. Again, not, necessarily my style. Would love to see her in concert. Think she would be a fantastic show live. Have not had a chance to do that. Hopefully, with this new album, maybe there's a Canadian tour and I'll get a chance to see her. All right, and last, this may be the most confusing one or the most surprising one. I'm not sure. And I did really, really like these guys from the start. From this album, I'll just show it. It's the Beastie Boys, and I liked Fight for Your Right to Party, and I liked No Sleep Till Brooklyn. And then I'm not sure what it was, but Sabotage for some reason turned me off. I don't know why. I really do not know why. And then eventually I went, well, what the hell are you doing, man? There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with any of their stuff. I really, really like them. This, of course, is how they started and then changed quite a bit. I don't need to get into the Beastie Boys and how they changed, but they changed my mind. So there you go. I don't know if that's the most surprising one of my seven. There's others. These are just the seven that I decided that I would go with, and I'm not sure why I picked the number seven, just because lots of people like the number seven. So there you have it. Seven bands, artists that changed my mind that I don't know why I was not a big fan from the start, but I am a big fan now. Show me your 5, 7, 10, whatever you like. Again, no prizes, but we'll call it the bands that changed my mind thread. And it's probably out there somewhere because I don't think there are any original threads anymore. There's just ones that haven't been done for a while and a guy searches and can't find it. That's the kind of threads that are out there. That's not completely true. But anyway, there you go. That is the thread, the post for today, my latest. Don't forget to join Rob and Darrel and I Wednesday nights, 8 Eastern. You do the math. The clocks just changed, but we don't change in Saskatchewan, but Ontario changed. Anyway, Wednesday nights, look for us live from the basement. It's always a lot of fun. Come and see us there. Hang out here every once in a while. I'll try and have something. Again, I know there hasn't been a whole bunch, but I'll try and put something up from time to time. And it will always be casual and it will always be one take. There you go. It was officially one take, even with the cough. Anyway, have a wonderful day, everyone. Enjoy a beverage of your choice today. Mine happens to be coffee. And we will see you soon from the Great White North. Take off, you hosers. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.